everyone, just a quick review for you today, and this is on a discontinued fragrance. I picked this one up quite cheaply on eBay. They can be hard to find, and I've been quite patient. I've been wanting to get hold of this for quite a while. My Insolence by Guerlain. So it's My Insolence. This is a flanker to Insolence. Insolence is the original. There's been lots of flankers, and this one is kind of a gourmand version. It came out quite a few years ago, and as I say, they crop up on eBay from time to time. Sometimes they're very expensive. In fact, most of the time, if the person knows what they've got, that it is a bit hard to find, then a fragrance will sell or will be advertised at a price of anywhere sort of from 60, 70, 80 pounds and upwards. This is a 30ml, and I got it for £15 plus postage and packaging, and it's used, so it's not full. I've actually sprayed quite a lot. See, the bottle's not in the best condition. There's no lid, and it's used, but I just wanted to try it. It's an absolute blind buy, and I wanted to try it because of the note of almond blossom. I love almond in fragrances. I really enjoy Insolence. I bought my mum a bottle of the Eau de Parfum, the original, a brand new bottle for Christmas, because both of us love Violet, and Violet is the really most notable note in the original Insolence fragrance. So I got my mum a bottle of that because I knew she'd love it, because it does have this really gorgeous and very, very noticeable violet note. Now, in My Insolence, there is no such violet note, but there is almond blossom to be precise, and I love the smell of almond in fragrances. And in here is a really lovely, clean, not too sweet almond note. It doesn't smell like marzipan, it smells more clean and less sweet. It's kind of musky. The notes in here, you have raspberry, and you definitely do notice that in the opening. The raspberry is slightly tart, slightly sweet, and you notice it. Let me just smell my hand actually. So it's been on my hand now for a good hour, and it's now it's very musky and clean. But the opening, let me just do a spray here. Just get some there. I've just done my nails, ready for my holiday. I'm going to Mexico, not tomorrow, but the next day. So off to Mexico. So I had to have nice, bright coloured nails for that. So, oh, there's the opening note there. I'm smelling my fingers now. And the raspberry is kind of sweet. Actually, it's not mega tart at all, but it does have a sharp crispness to it. And you can smell the floral, so there's a jasmine note in here, and you can smell that straight away, but it's not a big, heavy, overtaking jasmine note. It's more of a natural jasmine on the breeze, light, translucent jasmine, which is really nice. I don't like jasmine to take over things, and here it doesn't. Also smells a little bit like orange blossom, although that's not listed. And you can smell the almond pretty much from the get-go. And it's kind of sweet, so it's almost like an almond mixed with a vanilla and some musk. It's really lovely. And you get about an hour of it smelling like that. It does smell like I guess you would say a fruity floral gourmand. It does smell like a designer fragrance, but it doesn't smell like the really heavy, overtly sweet fragrances that you get in designer stores these days. It has a subtleness to it that I really appreciate. It smells a little bit sophisticated, and it does not smell like the kind of fragrance I would expect a 12 or 13-year-old to be seeking out. It has a real elegance to it, because it is musky and transparent. It is not thick and heavy. There's no heavy caramel notes here. It's a sweetness is done in a very subtle way, which I really like. So the opening is this beautiful raspberry with musk and almond, and then when it dries down it gets much more musky, a really clean light musk with the almond and just a hint of the raspberry remaining and a hint of that jasmine, and it's very creamy, very ethereal, very light. It just gives you a wonderful halo, a wonderful aura of something beautiful and innocent and clean. And as it dries down, it doesn't do massive changes on your skin. It doesn't take you on twists and turns. It is just a really lovely, ethereal, musky, slightly sweet almond jasmine affair that is not difficult to understand. It's not difficult to love, really. It's just really beautiful. I probably would prefer if it was a little heavier, if the presence was a bit more noticeable after the first hour or so. It does feel quite light, but I really enjoy it. I find myself respraying it more often than perhaps I should, but as I got it quite cheap, I don't mind. I think if I'd paid top dollar for it, I might be a little bit more annoyed at having to respray it. It's not to say it's weak. It does last quite well on my skin, but it's just that it doesn't project that much after the first hour or two. But I just spray lots, spray it in my hair, get it on my clothes, and then once I realise that I'm not noticing it too much, I respray. But for me, I'm really glad to have it. It was a bit of a unicorn for me. Every time I saw it come up on eBay, the price was a little bit too much for me to consider for a blind buy, but for £15 it was well worth a punt, and I really do like it. It's not got too much in common with the original Insolence, so don't think that if you love Insolence that you're going to love My Insolence. It's not a given, because Insolence has this very vibrant opening. You have the violet, but you also have a very fizzy, effervescent kind of, sometimes almost hairspray like opening, and you don't get that with My Insolence. In fact, My Insolence doesn't feel that close to the original Insolence at all. So don't make any assumptions based on what you think of the original Insolence. I would consider it as a standalone fragrance in your mind. Just look at the notes. It's not difficult to figure out whether you'll like it or not, because the smell is represented by the notes. If you read the notes and you like the notes, you're probably going to like the fragrance. There's nothing extra in here that you don't realize. There's nothing in here that's confusing or hard to understand. What you see is what you get, but it's just done in a very subtle and very likable, easy way. The only problem you might have is the performance, or it's maybe too innocent or too mainstream for your tastes if you are into niche. I'm really into niche. I don't own many designers at all, but this is just something that, to me, because of my love of almond, and I do love musky and light fragrances, then this really does work for me. As the cat just come in making a lot of noise, and this is one that I'll just sort of spray all over one arm just to enjoy. It probably doesn't perform well enough for me to consider it as a going out nighttime type fragrance. Kind of fragrance I'd wear to work, but by the time lunchtime comes around, I'll probably put something else on over the top. That kind of fragrance. Overall, I really enjoy it, and I would recommend that you check it out, particularly if you enjoy almond, because almond is definitely the main player here. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.